0519.
Okay, we're on record for our first regular review in this matter. May I have the names of our participants, please?
Lee Heiss, lawyer guardian ad litem.
Sergeant Thomas, counsel for the department. Ms. Gavinsky.
Karen Spinsky, foster worker for Illinois DHS.
With a C, right?
Yes.
Got it. I think I got everything else. You got it? You already spelled.
I got it on the docket. Perfect.
Michael McFarland, representing father. Please introduce yourself.
Father Wesley Piper.
Mother Emily Gerber.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Ariel Berger here on behalf of Mother Emily Berger.
All right, Ms. Heiss, I look forward to your report.
Thank you, Your Honor. I visited with the child in person, and the friends of the family who are taking care of this child have a very child-centered home, and he is very bonded there, and all the developmentally appropriate toys and activities for him. He has a daycare that he enjoys a lot. He's made available for visits with his parents, and he's doing well. So I recommend continuing the placement. I believe it's in his best interest, pending parents complying with services and benefiting from services.
Great. All right, witness testimony today, Ms. Thomas.
Thank you, Judge. If Ms. Emily Gerber can please be sworn in.
Ms. Gerber, come on up to our witness stand.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
There's a step to it. Get up there, be careful.
Sorry about that. There she is. Go right ahead, Ms. Thomas.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Gerber. How would you like me to address you? Emily, preferable, Mrs. Piper, Ms. Gerber, which do you prefer?
Oh, I don't mind.
Okay, so I'll refer you as Emily. Okay. Emily, I'm just, I know this is not normal. Normally, I don't know how often you get to testify, but I'm just wondering how you feel things have been going since we were here last in early March.
Me personally, I'm not happy with myself and my services. Okay. I have not engaged in my services as much as I should be.
Okay. Did you read the court report?
Vaguely, I read over it, but not read it.
Okay. One of the things that is included is the Dawn Farms intake and discharge paperwork. Is there anything that you would like to address about that point?
I jumped into Dawn Farms kind of assuming that I could be there for maybe like a month or two, you know, get some clean time in, try to get myself better and come back and get into my services. I didn't really realize that it was like a 3 to 4 month traditional program, because the last time that I went into there, I really wasn't, you know, too informed with it. So I mean, I feel bad that I went out there and, you know, I did go out there for a day and then I came back and I stayed good for about a week. And I wanted to get into services again and find a better facility that I can go for a short term. I don't want to go for a long term that could, you know, kind of delay my services, if that makes any sense.
And well, there's also a letter from Catholic Charities. Were you able to ever, sounds like from Catholic Charities, that you might have reached out for the initial assessment that led to Dawn Farms, then you came back. Did you ever re-engage, or have you re-engaged in the last week with Catholic Charities at all?
I won't lie, I haven't. And I'm actually trying to look into, I think it's called Parkside or Pathways or one of those two. I'm trying to get into something that's more of like focusing on my addiction rather than more of like, I need to work on my counseling. I do. I have a lot of barriers and a lot of things I need to work over, but I need something that's going to help me more into the beneficial of a drug addiction. And I feel like, and I've heard a lot of good things about Parkside Pathways, which one it is. And I've heard a lot of really good things about it, to where Karen's given me some really helpful information that I need to start getting services with that. As
far as employment, are you still doing the landscaping stuff, I believe.
Yeah, I actually got a job, when I got back from Dawn Farm, I got a job at 7-Eleven, and I was working third shift, and just recently I actually just quit because third shift is just not working. I'm not waking up until, 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm losing most of my day, and I can't really do my services if I'm sleeping. I need to find a job that's going to benefit Kyler to where I'm able to do my services and see him, and also to where I can work too. I just have to prioritize myself a lot better. It's something that I need to work on.
Okay, and there was a psychological that was scheduled this month, but it looks like in the report you did not go. Is that correct?
We were unable to go, as we informed our worker, as we were unable to go. And we've been waiting to try to see if we can get another evaluation, but we haven't heard any word back about it.
The report says that one is scheduled for August 19th, okay?
Oh, okay.
How is housing?
Our housing's good. We pay our rent. We're up to date on our rent.
Is there any barrier to helping Karen or for you providing Karen with a copy of your budget or anything like that?
Yeah, I need to, I send her some screenshots from our Venmo and Cash App payments, but I give her scrap receipts every time that we get them. I do have some that she doesn't have that I do need to get to her that I brought to court today.
Okay.
And I have check stubs from 7-Eleven that I do have for too.
Yes, but budgeting, like how you can manage the income that's coming in and then the bills you have to pay and making sure that there's sufficient income for you to provide for Kyler for reunification.
I'm sorry. Sorry,
That's okay. Is there any?
Sorry. I'm working on the budgeting. It's just something that I have to figure out. I don't know anything about budgeting. I won't lie to you. So I'm working on it and I'm trying to do my best with it. I just don't know exactly like what I'm supposed to do as far as budgeting. Like, I don't know what the court's looking at exactly from me as far as like, what am I supposed to prove for my budgeting and how can I prove that efficiently?
Well, and that was gonna be my question. Is there something that Ms. Kabinski can assist you with in that regard?
Well, yeah, we can talk about that. I don't mind.
Okay. How do you feel parenting time is going with your child?
It's going great. We come to the visits, we bring him snacks, we take him to the park. We do a lot of bonding things with Kyler that I wasn't able to do with my other children. There's a lot of things that I do with Kyler now that I didn't do with my other children.
You know that you're being screened, I think, at parenting times, but there's a lot of no-shows for LDC. Is there a barrier to getting to LDC?
What was that? I'm sorry.
There seems to be a lot of no-shows for your LDC drug screens. Is there a barrier to getting to those screens?
There's no real barrier, I won't lie. I just don't see the point in having me do urine screens and saliva screens. I've never denied a drug test. I'll do a drug test whenever they want me to. I just don't see the point in having me do 2 drug screens. I mean, I don't mind doing one or the other or both. I just don't see the point in having 2 different types of drug screens.
So if you understand that it's part of your court-ordered case service plan, is that something you're willing to re-engage with?
Oh, absolutely. Anytime Karen asks me for a drug screen, I always do one for
her. As far as your driver's license, have you had any progress in obtaining a valid driver's license?
I actually did just get the driver's test manual book so I can start reading that, and I got the sheet from the court downstairs about how much I owe the court to pay off my ticket so I can get going on that.
Okay. Is there anything that you feel could be done to continue to support you in this goal for unification?
Me personally, I just need to have a better support system.
And how do you think or look like for you?
I'm sorry, what was that?
What would that look like for you? What does it mean to have a support? Yeah, what would that mean?
Well, so far I'm slowly making amends with my family, and they were a real big support system for me. regardless if I've had any animosity towards them, they've always been that one, like those people that's been behind me. I have been changing some of my friends lately. I need to start getting into my services. Like, there's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no real excuses. I just have to get into it. I kind of fell into a little bit of depression because my husband's doing so well, and I don't know why I can't do that. I mean, I can, I just, you know.
This might be a harder question to answer, but what do you think it's like for your child to be without you and waiting for you to engage in those services?
I don't like it. I don't like that my son is away from me.
Your
So
Honor,
is there anything-
question is not responsive to the question. The question was not what she thinks, but what is Kyler feeling as he's waiting?
I understand how Kyler's feeling when he's waiting. I was in his position too.
So is there anything that we can do as a group, or any one of us or Karen can do to help you get re-engaged with these services?
I don't really know. I mean, I don't know, because I kind of got sprung on, I didn't expect this, like, to be put on the stand. But I don't know. I had to do it. I had to put my big girl panties on and do it. I can't just be a child anymore and think that this is my way or no way. It's hard. It's hard maintaining a business and having my child in foster care. It's a lot. It's a lot of stress.
Okay, Your Honor, I have no further questions for this witness. Thank you.
Ms. Berger?
Emily, is there anything that you feel like you are making good progress on?
I don't know, just my bond with Kyler, and that makes me feel bad to say because I should have more to stand on.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to add to your testimony today?
Not really much. I'm trying to get into services. I just need to find services that are more equipped to what I'm looking for.
Okay. I don't have any other questions for you, but some of the other attorneys might, okay?
Mr. McFarland?
None.
Ms. Heiss?
No questions, thank you.
Thank you for your testimony, Ms. Berger. All right, your next witness, Ms. Thomas.
I'll call Mr. Wesley Piper, please.
Mr. Piper, come on up.
Please raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Just that.
Good morning or afternoon, Mr. Piper. How would you like me to refer to you? Is Wesley okay, or do you prefer Mr. Piper?
That's fine. Wesley is fine.
Wesley, you heard the questions that I asked Emily, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So can you tell me how you feel this reporting period has gone for you and your progress towards reunification with your child?
I think it's gone pretty good. I mean, other than just a couple services that we didn't do, like counseling. I mean, I don't really feel like I need counseling. I've done it before. Like, I don't know why I need counseling. I'm not doing anything wrong.
What is your understanding about why your child was removed from your care?
Can you repeat that?
What is your understanding about why your child was removed from your care?
Housing, roaches, supposedly drug use on one of us or two of us, whatever. Just having him in a stable home, I guess.
And do you feel like for yourself, you have the emotional and mental capacity to provide that stability for your child?
Yes.
So what prevented you from doing that?
Nothing.
Are you aware of your case service plan?
Yes, we were just in a bad situation at the time, and that's a place to live instead of on the street.
I can understand that. But I'm curious if you've gone over your case service plan that the court has ordered you into.
Yes.
Okay. And part of that was the psychological evaluation that you guys missed this month. What was the barrier to attending that?
We had a big job that we didn't want to miss out on, and so we let Karen know, and it got rescheduled.
So you are aware of the rescheduled date?
The 19th of, I heard the 19th. I mean, I can look back in the text.
It's August 19th, according to the court report. And then you are also, looks like you're also missing drug screening at LDC. Is there a barrier to go with that?
There's no missing drug screens. I told Karen that I couldn't pee in front of them. I tried 3 times. And then she said, well, I can do the mouth swabs.
Okay. And that's where those come in. Got it. And then during this review period, it also looks like the DNA tests were confirmed for you and your child that you are biologically the father.
Yes.
Okay. With your current job, are you able to financially provide for your family and Kyler or your child?
Yes.
And are you providing any assistance to his caregivers right now?
Can you repeat that?
Are you providing any financial assistance to his caregivers right now?
I mean, we bought him toys, whatever snacks and food that we have. I mean, we let Sierra know that we have stuff for him if she needs it.
Okay. Have you been able to review this court report?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything that you think is inaccurate in it?
Not right off the hand.
And do you feel like you're progressing towards reunification with your child?
I think so.
All right. I have no further questions for this witness. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. McFarland?
Just so the court knows, what was the job that both of you had that took your time away so you couldn't take the psychological test?
I'd have to look back at what job it was, but it was like $400 job. I'm not gonna miss out on that.
And both of you did that job, is that correct?
Yes.
What happens if during the next scheduled psychological evaluation, another job comes up? What will happen?
I guess we're gonna have to schedule around it.
Schedule your work around it or schedule a test around it?
Schedule our work around it. I mean. if
And
it's
the reason
something
I'm
that-
asking is that I know you discussed this at the very beginning, but there is a limited time frame for you to complete this case service plan. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And if you have questions, it's better to give me a call or your worker a call when these questions or issues arise, rather than have them addressed in court. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there anything that we can help you do that you can see achieved? I mean, it seems like a pretty good report on you. You would agree, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything that we can do to help you achieve this faster or better?
I would say just like, the only thing I can think of is help getting my license back.
And what's the barrier on your license?
I have to do like 3 months of AA. I have to get a psychological.
Psychological is required to get your driver's license back?
Yes,
Okay.
within 3 months. Like I have to report all that to the judge, not like one of these judges, like a state judge.
An administrative judge, just so do the Secretary of State, correct?
Yes,
Okay. You know that you can do AA on the internet? Have you checked into that?
I didn't know I could do that.
Oh, have you asked? Because they offer those classes.
Nope, I didn't ask.
So besides the psychological and the AA, anything else that you need for your license?
10 letters or from family member or close friends, like saying sobriety, stuff like that.
Have you started to solicit for those letters?
Not right at the moment. I've been trying to work and provide.
It sounds as though a possible barrier might be the allocation of your time. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I work from like when I wake up till I go to bed pretty much, unless I'm getting a visit.
You stole the question out of my mouth, because that's what I was going to ask you. It sounds like you're a hard worker, and how many hours you put in per day. Do you have any days off?
Every once in a while.
It's not a scheduled day off. Is that correct?
No.
Anything else you want to tell the court?
It's just I'm trying.
Good enough. I have no further questions. We'll see if anybody else does.
Ms. Berger,
No questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Heiss.
Just briefly, the DNA test came in showing that you are the biological father for this child. When this child was born, were you already married to his mother?
Yes.
Okay. Then another thing is this, if you need to do this psychological on August 19th, do you have transportation to get there?
Yeah, I mean, I'd either drive or I can get my mom to drive me. Yeah.
Do you usually drive like to work and that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
So you need a ride to get there, and is there what do you use to keep that date so that you remember the date? Do you have a calendar on your phone or anything?
We have a whiteboard that we write on.
Okay. Is that a thing that you would write on the whiteboard so you can remember?
Yes.
Because you don't know what time to be where yet, right?
No.
Did you say you've gotten a text already about that date?
Oh, email, text.
Okay, so you have something you can look back
I'm
on.
not even sure if we got it yet. I'm just,
What is the best way to communicate with you? Email's best, text best, what?
probably text message.
So you did read this report about both you and Mrs. Piper's progress, right?
Yes.
So anything in there, her services that you need help with, or you think she needs help with?
I just really think that she needs to work on sobriety and going to counseling. And other than that, I mean, I think we're good parents. We show up when we're supposed to. We have a great bond with him. He smiles every time we walk up, and he gives me hugs, gives her hugs.
Do you think his needs are being met in his current placement?
I think they're being met.
All right, thank you. I have nothing further.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Just two questions, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
You want the court to, you have no objection to the court declaring that you're the legal father based upon the DNA test, correct?
Correct.
I know you don't want to get arrested when you're driving a car with no driver's license, correct?
Right.
You need assistance in finding alternate transportation, so you don't have to worry about jail, you don't have to worry about additional fines and costs and get buried in the legal system where you can't get out. Would you like some way to help you get to your jobs?
Yeah,
Where do these jobs usually take place?
everywhere around Winaway.
Refresh my memory, you are a scrapper, is that correct?
Landscaper, scrapper. I mean,
You
just a
did a job
handy-
by yourself or with anybody else?
What's that?
Does anybody else work with you?
Yeah, my wife.
She ever got a valid driver's license?
No. But like she said, she was working on getting it.
You both are, but neither one of you have it right now, so can you take one-way transportation or anything else to these jobs?
Well, usually it requires a trailer or,
Okay, I got you. I understand, no further questions.
Thank you for your testimony. We return your seat.
thank you.
Anyone else you'd like us to hear from? Ms. Thomas?
Tanner, I'll call Ms. Skibinski just to see if there's any updates to the court report.
All right, yeah, you're kind of cutting in and out today, so nice, if you could just try and go nice and slow, I think that helps.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Hey, Karen. As it relates to this court report, are there any, you drafted it, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you have continued to be the foster care worker during this review period?
Yes.
Are there any updates or modifications that you're aware of that need to be made to the court report or any of the attachments?
No updates.
Overall, how would you, I guess, describe the parents' level of compliance with and benefit from the case service plan, other than what they've already testified to?
Other than what they've already testified to, I mean, it seems that they understand that they're not compliant in a lot of really big and important areas. I would say in totality of the case service plan, there's not compliance, like we have a lot of work to do.
Some of the things that the parents have mentioned, like mom about budgeting, and then dad kind of about his license, which the elements seem to sort of overlap with the case service plan on some level. Are those things that they've ever discussed with you?
Budgeting, no. The driver's license a little bit. I've told him what he needs to do, and he did. Wesley followed up with the Secretary of State. They have also told him what he needs to do, so it seems he has an understanding of that as he testified to. I can assist my best, but also it's something that he's going to have to take care of.
Sure. And do you feel like you guys have a good working relationship, you and the parents?
Yeah, they communicate with me regularly as I need it, or as if they need anything, they reach out to me.
As it relates to parenting time, how is that currently going?
Parenting time is actually going very well. The parents do well in the visits. They always come prepared. Most of the time that they are on time, we've had a few instances where they're not on time, but we've talked it through. But overall, parenting time is going well.
What would you like to see in order to move towards unsupervised parenting time?
The parents are going to need to get into counseling and start addressing their mental health issues, as well as Emily needs to address her substance abuse issues.
And have you had a home visit to determine whether the current home environment is appropriate for the child?
I have visited the home one time. They just are renting a room in a house with many other people, and that home is not appropriate for reunification.
And parenting time could not take place there, is that correct?
No, it could not.
Is there anything you would like to give, any other information you'd like to give the court, maybe as it relates to the child or services that are pending for the parents?
As it relates to Kyler, he's doing very well in his placement.
I mean, not these children's names.
Oh, sorry.
It's a bit late.
I know, that's right.
As it relates to the child, he's doing very well in his placement. He also does well at parenting time with his parents. He gets, as I said, very excited to see them. He does recognize them, and there is a clear bond. He's in daycare. He loves the daycare, and he loves the other kiddos there, so.
Well, with that, Judge, I have no further questions of Ms. Kavinsky. And obviously, when the other attorneys are able to question her, I would ask the court to accept the court report and its attachments.
Objections?
None.
No,
All right, thank you, it is received. Questions, Ms. Berger?
No,
Mr. McFarland?
You heard the parents, specifically father's barriers, correct?
Mhm.
Is that yes?
Yes,
Is there anything else that you think that you can do to help him address the barriers that he disclosed?
I'm always willing to assist him. This is kind of the first time that I've heard him address any needs. Honestly, he regularly tells me he doesn't know what he needs to do, even though I've told him what he needs to do. So if he presents those needs to me, I'm more than happy to help.
So it seems as though him coming in to make an appointment is going to be a great deal of difficulty, especially since he shouldn't drive. Can he call you up and discuss what he described in court today?
Sure, if he wants to call me up, send me a text message, he knows how to reach me.
Sounds as though now that you've heard some of his barriers, you might be able to talk to him and maybe address some of those things.
Mhm.
Is that yes?
Yes.
Okay. Nothing.
Ms. Heisen?
so the drug screening that you do is a mouth swab, is that right?
Correct.
And have they refused any of those?
No, they haven't.
So in addition to those tests, they were on random screens through LDC?
Yes, the color system at the LBC.
And did you tell anybody that they don't need to do the LDC, they could just do the swabs?
No, I have told them that they should do the random screens because it is random. When you're doing it at parenting time, you can anticipate that I'm going to drug screen you.
The court report shows the addiction that at least Ms. Gerber is experiencing, I'm sorry, Mrs. Piper is experiencing. Through the court report, then we can assume Mr. Piper is aware.
I would assume he's aware. We've talked about it extensively every time we've met. And if he has read the court report, he would be aware.
Thank you. Let me look here, one more thing. Thank you, I have nothing further.
Can you redirect?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
My client has asked me to ask one more question.
Go ahead.
My understanding that the paternal grandmother visited quite frequently with the minor child before the court intervention, and now she's only had 2 visits, which doesn't seem like normalcy. How would we go about giving her more visits? Do you agree with that?
I agree with having her at visits, as I've explained to both of them. Visiting, like parenting time, is for them to increase their bond with their child. So we can have grandma at some visits. We had 1 visit scheduled and then they canceled it, so we rescheduled. So they had the birthday party visit with grandma and then she was at the visit yesterday. But I'm okay with grandma coming to some visit, but not every visit.
Does she necessarily have to interrupt the parents' visits? Is there any way that she can just have a visit without interfering, taking up the parents' time?
We could explore it.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further.
Anyone else have any further questions?
No.
Thank you for your testimony. We are to proceed. Any other witnesses today, Ms. Thomas?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Anyone else you'd like us to hear from, Ms. Berger?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. McFarland?
No, thank you.
Ms. Heiss?
I have no witnesses today, thank you.
Well, comments in closing, Ms. Thomas?
Thank you, Your Honor. At this stage, it still seems the parents are pretty contemplative in the phases of change here, and even with sobriety for mom. It is refreshing to see some parents consistent with parenting time and continuing that bond, and having reports that the child recognizes the parents and is doing well with parenting time. We are going to ask for that continued 90-day review. We are open to that next review being a permanency planning hearing. One of the concerns we had when this case originally opened was paternity, even though there was a legal father through marriage. And within this family, we've had that issue before. So with the DNA being established, legal paternity being established with the marriage, I think that looking at permanency sooner than later is appropriate for this youth or this infant child, not a youth. And with that, we are still asking for parenting time to be supervised. There's for mom, so no demonstration of sobriety, and both parents are lacking the ability to legally transport the child. The housing is not appropriate at this time. And I believe, if there's a willingness to expand parenting time from the parents, that's something the department would definitely look into as well. But with that, we are just asking for that 90-day date with supervised parenting time in place. Thank you.
Ms. Berger?
Thank you, Your Honor. We too are asking for another review date. I think my client was fairly honest today with where she is in her services and where she feels she's able to go. So I'm hopeful that during this next review period, she is able to engage. She knows what she has to do. And at this point, we're just asking for time so she's able to do that. Thank you.
Mr. McFarland?
I think my client was able to express the barriers as he perceives them, and I would encourage him to reach out to the worker and discuss how maybe some of these barriers might be overcome, or how we can work around those. I think communication is the first place to start. And I think he now knows that that's a good place for him to start. Thank you.
Ms. Heiss?
Your Honor, you can see through their testimony that they're able to say one thing while the other thing is true. And I can sit here and tell you I'm the Queen of England. I have all free speech rights. I can say that. And I'm not the Queen of England. I need these parents to know that they are failing the case service plan. I would like a 2-month review period, because this March 5th was dispo. 2 months later is about now, 2 more months would be 4 months. And I need to tell them again at the 2-month mark, you're not making it. You're not safe for the child. No matter what you think, it's in front of you in black and white. You are required to go to drug screens. And I need to make sure they're aware. I have been with this family and this mom for 3 other children. She's not a newbie. And I think it's only fair to be very clear what's happening. And we would have then 4 months for them to make changes that we haven't made in probably 10 years, I'm roughly. So I'm asking you to help me make the parents aware, whether they want to believe it or not. I want to be sure that we did our part in making them aware of where they are in the progress. And I'm going to request at the 6-month mark that we start looking at permanence for this child. I've been through this rodeo a few times, and the children that I have to look at, and they don't get to go back to mom and dad. It's really, really difficult. The bond gets built through the case, and then it gets broken after. And I don't think that's fair to the child. And I would ask for a 2-month review so that we can have one more 2-month review after that, or 3 and 3 was fine too, but I'm going to ask for termination at this point, that's where we're going. In my opinion, thank you.
Well, the court finds all interested parties were given notice for purposes of today's review hearing. I do find our caseworker and also Ms. Heiss in compliance with their obligations. Thank you, ladies, for reasonable efforts towards the goal of reunification. I think I've heard from the parents that they know what they need to do. They're doing their best to maintain employment and housing, but I think we know where the gaps are and what they need to do. Ms. Heiss is pushing because she wants to motivate you. She wants to see you get moving on things. I hope that you do as well. You know that I'm here. I'm here because I have to look out for the best interest of the child. And time moves a lot faster for little ones than it does for grown-ups. So with that in mind, I have looked at my calendar to see if I can join in that attempt to really keep things on track for you guys any sooner than we typically would. But given my calendar, I can give you a little bit of a shortened review period, but it will still be closer to 3 months than 2 months. And I hope that you're able to utilize that time to really tackle some of these things. I know that for example, we've heard several times today that the psychological evaluation is on the 19th, right? So how about we set the review hearing on the 20th, okay? And then you can try to just remember that your psychological is the day before your review, okay? So we'll come back on Tuesday, August 20th at 1:30 p.m. To have another look at the case. I think in the meantime, Ms. Kaminsky, you may want to have a talk with Mr. Piper specifically, I think, about what you're looking for him to tackle as far as the counseling and some of the mental health things. I know I read in the report, some of the good ideas would be to figure out how to best support Emily when it comes to sobriety and be kind of a partner in that. But also, you've had a lot happen in your own life that you might need to talk about. And hopefully, maybe even that person can help figure out how to navigate that driver's license situation, how to navigate asking for letters and what that looks like and how that conversation would go. So I think, think about that and try to find some opportunities for yourself to utilize that process. I know that that's part of your case services plan. So if you gotta do it, you might as well figure out what you can use it for. Give it a try. In the meantime, that we have had an identification, a lot of the challenges that still are out there. The big one for me, I think the most obvious one is whoever's living in the household needs to submit to those background checks. And there were some concerns about some of the police calls and some things that came that involved some of those roommates. So that's just one of the major things that we heard about today that are barriers, but it's those things as well as some of the other things that were discussed around substances and employment challenges and services challenges that would require the court to rule that the child is in the safest and least restrictive environment and needs to remain there until our next review. So unless there's any questions, we'll see you August 20th at 1:30 p.m. For our second regular review.
Thank you.
I'll have you